Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 108 of the Need to Nerd podcast. I'm your host, Heezy, and I am recording my third podcast in like 3 hours. What's up, Paddy?
How's it going? You are so accommodating. I appreciate you for doing that with me. We had to get this Christmas one in.
Just gotta do. I gotta edit this one today too, so the things. This one better be smooth.
Right, Disney boy.
Before we get too far into this, I just want to congratulate the Aboyo family on their fantasy football championship weekend. Congratulations to both you and Shelby playing each other in that championship. I hope you guys enjoy it.
Yeah, thank you. She did a lot of hard work this year, and this is like her first taste of success, and I think she's caught the bug.
Nice.
With fantasy.
Love to hear it.
So.
No nerd fact of the week this week. If you want to talk about fantasy football, we did a huge update to the Discord. Check it out. It is clean looking, Daddy B. It is clean looking. With that being said, let's talk about Jack Frost. We hinted last week that we were going to do this. And how many times do you get to talk about a movie where Batman turns into a snowman? That's right. Michael Keaton himself turns into Frosty the Snowman, where none other than Joseph Cross as a child must save him from the devil's grasp. No, this is a fantastic film starring Michael Keaton and Joseph Cross as father and son who... it's a film about loss. It's a film about love. It's a film about acceptance. It's a film about communication. It kind of hits all the buttons, and I think it's one of those hidden gems. We did our hidden gems episode, and when it comes to Christmas movies, I don't think that this is one that people always even recognize. Like when it comes on TV, I don't think people are like, "Oh yeah, like that's like one of my favorites," because a lot of people haven't seen it for some reason. That being said, we're going to go into our first reactions. This is what our first thoughts were when watching a film, and I'm going to go first. I actually saw this movie in theaters when it came out, all the way back, I think, was it 1999? And it was my new favorite Christmas movie. I remember going home and building Lego snowboards and recreating the movie with Lego. It was cool, especially for like a 90s movie. You like really felt like Michael Keaton's character and Charlie's character, Charlie and Jack were both like really cool characters, and I fell in love with it my first time. And if I'm not mistaken, this is actually your first time ever seeing the film, Paddy B.
It is, and I feel like it did come out when I was younger, right? And I may have done I don't know why I didn't see this movie, right? It has all the if you're looking at boxes to check of oh, great cast, got it. Christmas movie, check. Watch all the Christmas movies. This one kind of just slipped under the radar.
So what was your first impression of the film while you were watching it? Was that it? It was how did I miss this?
That was the first impression, but more also just oh shit, Batman is Batman. And he's a musician, that whole aspect of it is connecting and super cool. The whole trying to make it in the music scene is a big tough ask, and it requires a lot of you. And so the story of his dad who can't keep his promises kind of hits home a bit.
Well, if you haven't seen this film, there's still some time left in December, the time of this getting posted. Go watch it. If you're looking for something to watch next Christmas, you want to come back and revisit this episode, just put it in your app. Here, let me help you. Hey Alexa, remind me in 2024 to listen to Nietzsche Jack Frost. There you go. Helped you out there. I hope Alexa heard that. Anyway, no, I think that, you know, from here on out we're gonna go spoilery. We're gonna go deep into what we're reviewing. And Paddy, I gotta ask, man, like, what would you like? What high level? What was it like?
Um, so I didn't think I would cry as much in a Christmas movie, right? They're normally like um kind of surface level, like kind of. There's not a lot of really deep stuff. There's been a few in the recent past that have stirred those kind of emotions. Um, but like I didn't also like not seeing this movie before. I didn't see the death coming, right? Like I don't know why I didn't see it coming.
Yeah, I mean,
um, 'cause-
it certainly is like a jarring start to the film, right? Like he could just get turned into a
yeah,
snowman by magic, right? Like he doesn't have to die.
yeah, yeah. But it it, it tracks, and the way that Charlie processes his grief, um, isn't really healthy, and it's a really good. The snowman's a good vehicle for that.
Yeah, so I think that there's like a lot of high level things. You've covered one of them, which is like the grief process, and like, you know, we see Charlie in a place where he's like not playing hockey anymore, and like I know for me, like I've lost somebody really close to me. You know, I've never lost a parent, luckily, but you know, I lost my best friend, and there are like things that I couldn't do for a while, like I couldn't listen to Jimmy Eat World. I couldn't listen to like certain
Mm,
musical groups. I didn't play
mm,
StarCraft 2 at all because StarCraft was something we did together, and like all this kind of stuff. The like it's you go through a lot when you lose somebody close to you, and like I said, I'm lucky I've never lost a parent, but it's interesting to kind of have this really intense start to this film and then jump a year ahead, like immediately. And
mhm,
you know, as I watched it as a 9-year old, I don't know that I like understood it as much. And then I watched it when I got older, and this time watching it, this movie's really, it does a really good job of being like a kids movie that teaches like important lessons while also being like one. And this is my favorite type of like movie is, and also as an adult when you watch it, it also teaches you lessons and it also hits you in the feels. And
mhm.
Maxwell says to me as we're watching this, he goes, "Dad, this movie's really sad." I'm like, "Yeah, it is." But like he
Yeah,
liked, you know, the
buddy.
cool parts and
Oh,
stuff. But it's like, "Dad, this movie is really sad. He's really sad. He misses his dad." I'm like, "Yeah." So,
yeah, man.
um,
Oh goodness.
you got cheering up again already, right? Uh,
Yeah.
I gotta ask, who is your favorite character in this film?
So oddly enough, um, I really enjoyed um Mark Addy's character as Mac. It's his like best friend in the band who also like has to go through his grieving process of losing his best friend and his bandmate. He loses his love for making music, right? It's not the same anymore. Um, and kind of his journey of like starting to make music again after um
I gotta
going through this
I gotta
process
ask, when
with
you
Jack.
saw him, were you like, who was the character that you related there? Like that's who
Um,
was it?
it was
Because I think mine is weird for people. I thought that's Roland's from A Knight's Tale. That's Roland from A Knight's Tale.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I think most
What
people would
must have
have
been it?
would have, oh my gosh, that's Robert Baratheon. from Game of Thrones.
Oh shoot!
Did you not recognize him?
No, he was. I didn't recognize him as. I didn't recognize him as Robert Baratheon. What did I? What did I?
Yeah, he's.
How do I know him from? Yeah, he felt familiar, but like,
He looks exactly like he looked in. I mean, A Knight's Tale was 2 years later, so that's like the closest comp that I had.
right. Huh.
Anyway, keep going.
Awesome. Sorry, yeah, got me on a tangent there. But no, yeah. So his uh, it was an interesting relationship with him and Jack's wife, right? Like them starting to like see each other because like that stuff happens in real life too, right? Like
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy. So
I will get into some of their stuff during the Lovitz. My favorite character in this film is Jack. I think that for me, like, I actually don't know that. Have you ever lost somebody super close to you, Patty?
this year,
Oh, that's right. Sorry. I
yeah,
think
no, you're good.
one of the things that kind of helped me during the grieving process is like letting them be them, like in their own way, and like I don't know if that makes a lot of sense. But one of the things that Jack has to do in this film is he has to have acceptance too, and like he needs to like there are things obviously that he feels like he left unfinished, right? Like he needed to teach his kid this hockey shot. He needed to say goodbye to his wife, like all this stuff. But at the end of the day, like everybody needs to accept the reality of the situation, and I think that Michael Keaton does a really good job in making that situation be like I'll give you an example. Gabby does not have interactions with this snowman, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
but she still gets to like go through a part of the grieving process because of the snowman to have acceptance of what happened. And you can only do that, it's like on your own once you accept it, like, okay, this person's gone, and who they were and what they were is what they were and who they were, and that's okay. Like there's not more that needs to be done, and that's okay. I don't know. I thought that Michael came to that realization at the end. Gabby got to come to that realization, and it was just nice.
Yeah, yeah. Like when she can finally when Charlie runs away,
Yeah.
right? Finally seeing him and having that closure is good.
Any could be betters in this film for you? Oh wait, no. Favorite side character. I gotta ask for your favorite side character. There were so many side characters in this movie.
There was a bunch. I mean, my favorite character was a side character. So,
That's okay.
um, um, next, I'd probably oh, um, the hockey coach who's afraid of snowmen.
Yeah,
I
that was
think
funny.
that was a really funny dynamic. Um, that also like had passed with Jack. Um,
Yeah.
and Jack's. So either that character or the dog.
The dog's a good answer. The dog crushes it in this role.
Dog's, yeah.
Good
Oh, yeah.
doggo. Good doggo. I like Natalie a lot. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think that she serves multiple purposes in this film, and I really love it when a side character can do that. She is a catalyst for, keep like helping Charlie get like she's always fighting for Charlie, and I really like you need those kind of friends. And she does it in multiple ways. She does it for Charlie, to himself. She does it with Charlie's mom. She is a really good friend and helps Gabby get to where she needs to get for Charlie, but also helps Charlie get to where Charlie needs to get for Charlie. And in my headcanon, they end up together and get married, and they're, they make beautiful Natalie and Charlie babies.
Mm-hmm.
So, any could be betters for this film. It's kind of hard to look at a 1999 film for what it's worth and like have the kind of could be betters that I was thinking watching it, but like the CG for building a snowman can only be so much.
Right. Yeah, and this is done in the late '90s, so like
We got what we got.
you're kind of constrained with it is what it is.
Yeah.
As they say.
Anything that stuck out to you though?
Um, in looking some things up here, right? I kind of wanted to see because we talked about like Rotten Tomatoes and um like the IMDb scores like a bunch when we look at things. This has a really low. I think it's like 18% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I told you it's a hidden gem, man. Like I just don't understand. I don't sometimes.
Like,
Sometimes I don't understand what critics are looking for. Like, what did this not do well? I thought the acting was good. Honestly, like, is it Joseph Cross? I thought he does a great job as Charlie. I
mhm.
mean, the dude has gone on to
Yeah,
have a 30-year acting career. I think there's not a part of the film that I'm like, oh, that was. I mean, there's some cheese in it, right? Like the snowman. I'm sure critics saw the snowman flinging snowballs, the way that it happens, right? And it's a kids movie, and I feel like critics
right.
don't rate kids movies the way that you should.
Yeah, there's definitely cheese, right? It's um I mean, you said it. It's made for
It's
kids
got one
and
star.
it's not made for adults. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how that is
This
a
is this
thing.
is
That
a hated
doesn't feel
film.
right. Yeah. I don't get it.
I'm actually shocked.
And what maybe I think some of the animosity, like what came off of it, is like Michael Keaton just did Batman before this. So like I don't know how many projects he had in between Batman and Jack Frost. Um so like maybe that with just like the actor going like being switched to George Clooney for Batman, which everyone loved so much. Um and doing like something like this. Maybe that contributed to like part of the disdain. I don't get it. This movie's great.
So it looks like there were. I don't even. So Batman Returns was 92. This was
Mhm.
98 in theaters, so it was 6 years later.
Okay.
I don't know. I think that like if I were to like get out like what actually could have been better about this film, the pacing at the end is really weird. Is the only one that I really have. Like
Sure.
you and I, you just go from like okay they're in the mountains now. Like what? How does mom get him down? To like mom comes up, we say goodbye, movie's over, and it's like whoa that was fast. Like that took all of 3
Yeah.
minutes. That's the only like the pacing at the end. I think the other problem is that it's paced so well throughout the rest of the film that it's jarring that it ends so fast. Especially because you get this like this high moment with like them sliding down the mountain to the cabin and stuff, and like that's the
Mhm.
only could be better I have for the film. But like, what are you supposed to do? You supposed to add another 20 minutes onto the film to fix that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the fix is. It's I think they spend a lot of time with like the best parts,
Yeah.
with Jack and Charlie. So like I also get it cuz you're spending more time with what makes the movie great. So,
Any major love it's for you?
there's a few. I have no complaints about this movie. It does everything that you want to do, and um, I love um Jack teaching, like tying up his loose ends, right? Teaching Charlie the hockey move, the implementation of this harmonica into it, where like he told him it's magic, and Charlie just kind of wrote that off, but it ended up being magic. He was right.
Yeah, you covered two of mine. I think that I have some like this movie has some like pretty good one-liners in it that I really appreciated. Like when Gabby walks up to Mac and she's like, how I told you that I'd never come to you and ask you to like have those guy-to-guy conversations with Charlie. Well, I lied. I need you to go have a guy-to-guy conversation with Charlie. Like, it's like the jokes hit pretty well, and there's some that don't. Like, I think Andy Lawrence's character. It felt like they just had Andy Lawrence in the movie because he was famous at the time to have Andy Lawrence in the movie, and like that was a little weird. Like, I don't know why you put like probably the second most famous person at the time. And what's so funny is he's credited as Tuck Gronick as Andy Lawrence. I don't know what that means. Did they call him Andy and Tuck in this movie?
I don't know.
Or does Andy Lawrence come on the screen too? Like, is there like a meta part that I missed? Anyway, other than the jokes from there, another big love that I have is it? I'm trying to remember the bully's name. Is it Mitch? What's the bully's name?
Let me see here. Yes, Mitch.
Is that it?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, you got it.
What's so funny about this too is a couple years later he plays the Ronnie Jacobs in Lizzie McGuire, who is like one of the most hated characters of the show, because he like is Lizzie's first boyfriend and breaks up with her for another girl that goes to his school because he wants to date somebody at his school instead of somewhere else. So just a little behind the scenes. But I thought his moment with Charlie, get like helping him out with the snowman, and then like when he's like, I knew it, I knew you were, I knew, everybody said that was crazy. I don't know. I just thought the whole thing was great. I just don't know. This is what I'll say about like the Rotten Tomatoes thing is, I don't know how you have a movie with a talking, moving snowman without it being cheesy. Like, what is it going to be less cheesy if it's animated? Is that what you wanted? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but that looks just kind of like Frosty the Snowman, right? Like, you're too close to that.
The point here is that it's a pun, right? It's called Jack Frost, but it's not Jack Frost. It's Frosty the Snowman, and Frosty the Snowman turned into a person because of the magical harmonica. And I just think that they hit all the beats so well. I talked about Natalie, like all of the moments that Natalie is in the film progress the story in like a really positive way. The snowball fights in this movie are some of like,
that was great.
As a child, like that was, I could only imagine having 200-person snowball fights on a mountain, like, and we did, like, we had
that was the dream.
Huge snowball fights as kids. We would build igloos and forts, and like, well, we live in Utah. For those who don't know, I guess you lived in St. George, though.
I moved down there to St. George when I was in 8th grade, so like my childhood was spent north.
Okay, because it's like I remember it was it might have been this winter that we had that 4 or 5 foot snowstorm.
This previous one,
yeah.
Before
the one last year, but like the last biggest snowstorm might have been like close to the same year. And we just built like the biggest snow forts, had people over. It was like when I don't know if you remember like the snowball things where you would put them in the snow. Remember the scoop ones that you would
crunch it.
Yeah. Oh, those two. Like
I don't know, just like now you can just use Chuck It. Like for your dog, the like Chuck It toys.
Yeah, it was kind of like those that we were using. Honestly, the snowball fight scenes were amazing, and like as like a kid, it was so cool, and it's like we tried to recreate that type of stuff. Snowboarding was just getting cool at the time of this, so like having that snowboard moment was really cool. The chase scene was great. The movie just has all of it. Like watching it again, I'm like, I remember why this is my favorite Christmas movie, and it does that thing where like the Elf does in a lot of ways, where it's really great for kids, really funny, but really great for adults too. This one hits that same type of thing. In fact, I think if they remade this movie, if they could go back in time, remake this movie with the same cast and like the level of stuff that they could do now, I think it would be beloved. I just think that it has a charm to it that I think maybe was lost on audiences. I wonder I wonder if it was competing with other Christmas movies in '98. But
that's very possible.
That is going to do it for Love It's. Patty B, on a scale of 0 to 5, 0 being do not ever watch this movie, to 5 being this is a perfect film. Where would you rate it? And be honest, like I know it's a Christmas movie, I know it's a kids movie, but like where do you actually rate this?
I mean, only having seen it once, it's at least a 4, right? Like it has the issues, like there's not many issues that we talked about that like it has. Like I don't see why I'd give it anything less than a 4.
Yeah, I think that like, you know, certainly
can't give everything a 5.
Right? Giving it a 2, like the the critics. I think that this is like in that 3.5 4 range is like a film. Like the thing is like it's meant to be cheesy. It's meant to be a little bit campy. It's cute and it's fun, and it is a nice thing to sit down, have a hot chocolate, put some peppermint schnapps in there, and just relax. Just relax. It's all good in the hood, fam. Yeah. So, if you want an episode about something that you love to be talked about next year, leave a YouTube comment. It is the best way to both support the show while also helping us figure out what we're going to do. We got to have a podcast meeting about. Usually at this time, I'll tell you what the next episode about. We're gonna sit down. We're gonna plan out the next couple episodes. I just want to say thank you to you, Patty, for it was a really rough year for me personally, and I just appreciate you sticking this through with me. We haven't been the most consistent this year, but I've enjoyed our episodes, and I think that our dynamic has gotten better, and I really appreciate you doing this with me.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it hasn't been easy, I think, for either of us. This year's been pretty crazy. And yeah, we're figuring out what we are as a podcast, and I like hanging out and talking about nerd stuff. I mean, that's why I wanted to do it in the first place. So,
well, I'll tell you what, I got this sitting ready for Christmas break, so we'll have a Big Lebowski podcast here in the near future as well. So, thank you everyone so much for listening. Patty B, where can people find you?
They can find me on Twitter, X at PattyBNTG.
You can find me at Heezy Game. You can find the podcast every week on anywhere you can find a podcast, but at Need to Nerd. Check out the Discord. Like, subscribe, review, comment. Best way to support the show is because on next year with another episode of the Need to Nerd podcast.